Alright, welcome to our practical example for our shoulder labral repair case study. We're going to just run through an exercise that we found useful for their home program. We'll talk through some of the dynamics, first off, why we chose an exercise like this. So if you read the article, basically we were sort of inferring this idea that there was this behaviour of the system, particularly the thorax, to be turning to the right. So some shoulder measures that we took that sort of gave this indication was a magnified left shoulder IR and a magnified right shoulder ER. So effectively, if we put ourselves in that position, we'll see the position that the thorax adopts. So if I maximally start to internally rotate my left ribcage, or my left shoulder, sorry, I'll note that my thorax starts to turn to the right in a downwards direction. If I start to ER my right shoulder, I just start to sort of magnify that turn. So the purposes behind the strategies that we used and the exercise that we're going to show in this case is to almost sort of flip-flop that situation and begin to start to try and push off this arm to start to turn the thorax back to the right-hand side and put the left side in a position where it can start to accept that turn and turn into that side. So we're sort of effectively looking to create the opposing behaviour. So we utilised a high oblique sit pull down, and so effectively we'll quickly run through the cues of that. So we're going to get ourselves down on the ground. Our high oblique sit is effectively going to have us so that we've got our legs externally rotated. We're going to look to try and sort of identify a couple of bony contacts in this position. So I'm thinking particularly my right leg in this case. I want to have my greater trochanter and the outside of my right knee in contact with the ground. Now, there are modifications you can make if need be to get those contacts, but for simplicity's sake, we'll show it on the ground. So I'm making sure that I've got those contacts. Otherwise, I'm going to have my legs crossed over top, so left foot in front of the right ankle. What I'm trying to do in this particular variation is line everything up in a straight line. So I want the anchor point to be in line with my left side. I want to have my left foot, my left knee, my left hip, my left arm, and my right hand all in a straight line towards that anchor point. And so as I set myself up in this position, I'm going to let the weight or the band, start to take me away. I've got my bony contacts on my right hand side. And so what I'm trying to do is get as far away from that right hand as I can. So I'm going to push nice and firmly through it, let the band sort of assist me up and along with that position. I'm going to keep my eyes on my hands throughout. And then from here, I'm going to take a nice, long, slow breath of air in. And on my breath out, I'm going to start to pull my elbow or bend my elbow into the fold of my hip as I'm taking that breath out. Now what I'll note is as I start to extend my arm again, I'm going to get this feeling as if I can start to elongate through my right arm even longer and start to take a little bit more load through my left foot. And I really want to sort of encourage that process of getting away from my right side, my right hand, and getting heavier on my left foot. And that heaviness that I detect in my left foot, I want to hold on to it the next pull down that I do. So when I'm in the top again, I'm going to try and take a nice, long, slow breath of air in, hold on to the heaviness on the left foot as I bring that elbow into the bend of my hip again. Again, I'm going to keep my eyes on the anchor point throughout. And just working through cycles of that. Each time I get into this elongated position, again, I'm going to try and get even longer and further away from that right hand, even heavier on that left foot, and look to hold on to those sensations, that heaviness, as I work through my next pull down.